You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, Deputy Prime Minister applauding the cannabis legislation while diving into the impact it can have on tourism. Plus, those in the religious sector shared their views on the cannabis amendments. And in other news, the legal community remembering the legacy of prominent attorney Carlson Shurland KC. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
I point out that cannabis tourism is quickly growing industry valued at $17 billion annually.
Introducing cannabis legislation marks a pivotal move by the Davis administration, aiming to position the Bahamas at the forefront of the booming $17 billion cannabis tourism industry. Good evening, I'm Azure Quant. Thank you for tuning in. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, hailing this initiative. As promised in their Blueprint for Change, the Davis administration aims to create a regulated framework that ensures opportunities for all Bahamians. We have the details in tonight's top story.
This represents a significant step forward in modernizing our approach to healthcare and aligning with international best practice.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, applauding the Minister of Health and Wellness for introducing a comprehensive cannabis legislation. The proposed bill aims to establish a regulated medical cannabis industry, decriminalize cannabis for medical and religious use, and expunge records for small quantities.
We're seeing the big picture. We're seeing the opportunities. We're seeing an industry with its growth that will attract national and foreign attention from investors who can help us to capitalize and advance our national development.
DPM Cooper emphasizing the administration's visionary stance, noting that they are seeing the big picture as this is a growing industry. According to the tourism minister, cannabis tourism is emerging as a rapidly expanding sector, currently valued at a staggering $17 billion annually.
Over half of the respondents who have been surveyed, they cite the ability or the option to legally purchase cannabis products will increase their chances of vacationing in a specific destination. That's what we're talking about. We're forward-looking, but this is going to be an appropriately regulated industry in the Bahamas.
During their campaign, the Davis administration promised the Bahamian people a blueprint for change. This plan outlined the development of a comprehensive regulatory framework for growing, harvesting, and exporting cannabis. The goal? To ensure that the cannabis industry creates opportunities for many. DPM Cooper expressing his satisfaction, noting that he is pleased that the administration is fulfilling its mission.
Our contract with the people, that's what we set out to do. And today we're ticking 6 of those boxes with this compendium of legislation.
In this next report, we hear from a Rastafarian leader who voices strong support for the government's push to legalize cannabis for medicinal and religious use, stating that it could be a game changer for the economy. A religious leader also chiming in, providing insight into the potential benefits and challenges of this move. Raven Davis reports.
There's far more things than just say, well, I'm just trying to get high. You know what I mean? Because like I say, for those that respect the sacrament, they will use it in a proper manner.
Rashad Adderley, a prominent member of the Rastafarian community, is expressing strong support for the government's move towards legalizing cannabis for both medical and religious purposes. Following a robust debate led by Health Minister Michael Darville on Monday, Adderley emphasized that cannabis has been unjustly stigmatized for far too long. He says he's confident that its legalization could provide a substantial economic boost and contribute significantly to reducing the national debt.
We need to have this behemonized 100%. And the Rastafarian community can help tremendously with this. Number one, we can help with cultivation of the marijuana. We can help with showing you the different aspects of the marijuana that you can use. Where for medicinal purposes, we know certain things. You don't just have to smoke marijuana. You can drink, you can eat, you can use the hemp for clothing, all type of things.
Now, the proposed legislation allows Rastafarian organizations to obtain a religious use license to distribute cannabis as a sacrament. However, Adderley is divided on the licensing requirement.
You have some people that could say they're Rastas and just want to get it. So my thing is, okay, if we're under the organization, we should be given first preferences to have licenses, and we should be the ones that will say, okay, I will be able to give this person a license because I know that they are Rastafarian.
The bill also making it clear that the decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana does not equate to legalization. And as of now, the government is not currently exploring recreational cannabis use.
Do you know that alcohol destroys more homes than marijuana has ever did?
Senior pastor of Agape House, Apostle Tony Grant, agrees that alcohol causes more harm than cannabis. And while he doesn't explicitly voice support for its recreational use, he does endorse medical cannabis.
We know from studies and research that it can help medically. And so there are folk that need it to assist them with their medical condition. And yes, we need to support that. Now, one of my problems is that we have to be cautious in passing a drug that we don't do the same with this as we did with the gambling.
Moving forward, Apostle Grant says that while cannabis has long been demonized, it should now be used for its rightful medicinal benefits, adding that the church should seek wise counsel on the matter. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Thank you for that report there, Raven. Well, in other news, the Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union, BCPOU, hosting its elections throughout the country today. The union represents BTC, ZNS, and the Bridge Authority. Vying for president once again is Sherry Benjamin, with her opponent being past President Dino Roll. Charlize Ellis campaigning for the position of Area Vice President of the Northern Bahamas, sharing her thoughts on the state of the BCPOU.
The BCPOU has plenty of things that we've accomplished, and then there's still yet some things that we need to do. Unity is strength. You have members concerned, you have reclassifications, you have promotions. We just signed an industrial agreement. So some things are good, and we still have a merit of things that we need to work on. Staff morale is still a little iffy, but, you know, after this process, I am looking for great results in a turn of event for some staff.
Ellis has been a part of the BCPOU for some 12 years and shares what keeps her coming back each term.
I love people, I love solutions, I love resolutions, and these are my people. This is home. ZNS, TBA, and BTC, all of us are one. And people don't often see the TBA side because there's no TBA in Grand Bahama. But if you look around now, you see a merit of young and old getting to reunion. And this is what keeps me going, my heartbeat. The fact that I can help and be an extension and a voice for them who can't speak.
Now, the unofficial results are expected to come in sometime this evening. We'll have that for you in tomorrow's newscast. Well, in news from the crime beat, police on the island of Abaco are questioning a 27-year-old male in connection with sexual assault. The male was apprehended by officers on Monday, July 15, 2024 in the Murphytown area in response to an 18-year-old female's complaint of sexual assault. Investigations into that matter are ongoing. Now on to some sad news. Carlson Shurland KC, a distinguished figure in the Bahamian legal community, has passed away. Shurland, who led Shurland & Co., one of the top law firms in the Bahamas, was a pioneer who dedicated over 25 years to the legal profession. He established Shurland & Co., a firm renowned for its excellence and commitment to justice. On Monday, July 15th, Carlson Shurland KC was reportedly found unresponsive in his home and subsequently pronounced dead. As the country mourns the loss of Carlson Shurland KC, he is also celebrated for the profound impact he had on the legal community in the Bahamas. Now his passing, sending shockwaves through the legal community, leaving colleagues and friends grappling with the loss. Many of them gathering to remember his legacy tonight, regarding him as one of, if not the best, criminal justice attorney to grace the courthouse in Grand Bahama. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
I subscribe to the philosophy and the tenet that you are innocent until proven guilty.
Carlson Shurland KC is described as more than a notary. He's a legend, an advisor, a colleague, and a man with an unwavering heart for those in need. With a career that spanned a decade, Shurland's resilience in the criminal justice system is unmatched. Originally starting out in engineering, he made a profound transition into the legal sector, dedicating his life to fighting for his clients. Classmate at Government House and also colleague Constance McDonald KC, family friend attorney Kevin Martin Russell, and former assistant director of the Public Prosecutors of Freeport, Erica Kemp, all sharing memorable and dearest moments that they say will hold close to their hearts forever.
Carlson was the kind of guy who was very, he would do his research and read up on all the cases, because if you wanted to know about a Court of Appeal decision, you could always call him, because he made sure and kept up to date with what was happening, especially with the cases that he was dealing with.
Each of us went for the jugular. The fights were fierce, and what that did was made us prepare at length for our trials.
I was more than thrilled when he got his appointment as a KC. I remember calling him and telling him, boy, well done. Well done, my good friend.
McDonald further emphasizes that there will be a significant gap in the criminal justice system, and Shurland's legacy will leave an indelible print in that particular area. Meanwhile, Kemp describes Shurland as the most formidable opponent she has encountered, noting his depth of knowledge and expertise.
Involved in a lot of high-profile cases and all like that, and I know he practiced quite a bit, and also in the Court of Appeal. So there will be a gap left.
Mr. Shurland had a wealth of knowledge, especially in the criminal court, because he practiced in all the courts in the Bahamas. Above all, he was kind. And what I will always remember him for, he had a great sense of humor.
They question who will rise to be as influential as Carlson Shurland KC.
Of course, he had risen to the level of KC. So that in itself tells you the type of, or the caliber of attorney that he was.
Freeport and the Bahamas Bar on the whole, they've lost a giant, especially in the realm of criminal law.
I can't imagine the court system in Freeport without the presence of Mr. Shurland.
Or the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
The Ultimate Brunch Full Buffet is back at Portobello's in the Grand Lucayan Hotel every Sunday from noon until 4 p.m. Call 373-1333 for more information. Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect. 11 schools vying for the trophy, scholarships, and bragging rights. Battle of the Brains. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Who will rise to the challenge and claim victory? This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Continuing to make an impact in the lives of young people, the Reach Out Youth Organization is preparing to take a number of young men to the capital to compete in a Peace on the Street basketball tournament. Shalia Roll has the details in this report.
Grieving the loss of all victims to violence in the country, Dudley Said, president of Reach Out Youth Organization, is gearing up to take a number of young men to New Providence to participate in the Peace on the Street basketball tournament. But that is not all these players will see. According to the founder of Reach Out, the young men will take a deeper dive into what happens after a crime is committed.
I'm very excited to take 25 young men from Grand Bahama. What we call is a Scare Straight program, up close and personal. They'll have an opportunity to visit Her Majesty's prison as one. And we also have a courtesy call with National Security with Mr. Wayne Monroe.
Now, along with visiting Her Majesty's Fox Hill Prison, the team will be participating in the Peace on the Street basketball tournament under the theme, Shooting Hoops Instead of Guns. Reach Out Youth Organization competed in this tournament for 10 years and brought the championship trophy back to Grand Bahama. Dinero Said, Youth Director for Sports and Community Outreach, says he's always excited to make an impact in the lives of young men through sports.
It's been almost 5 years since we went and saw for the Peace on the Street tournament, so I'm very excited and looking to bring the championship back to Freeport. Every year it's an eye-opener. Like, every year we go, it's nothing you can get used to.
Marquise Lewis, a player from Team Reach Out, sharing how he feels the triple impact his life.
It impacts me well because it shows me how people live and stuff and how they're doing tonight. Like, it shows me to keep being myself and don't break no laws. It's hard to see the person because it's like it's in a place I want to be to or whatever, because I want that to be my future.
With a great passion for assisting the community, Said is appealing to the public for donations to make an impact in the life of the youth. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated's Zeta Rho Sigma chapter hosted a Golden Gala black tie event at the Pelican Bay Hotel, celebrating 40 years of sisterhood, scholarship, and service. During the event, 3 longtime members were honored for their exceptional service: Joy Rogers, Eunice Mills, and Elsina Duncombe.
We have decided to honor the ladies that would have started this chapter and would have dedicated their lives, their entire lives, to giving back to as many people as they could possibly touch, and we just wanted to give them their flowers while we still can.
Honorees Eunice Mills and Joy Rogers were unable to attend the Golden Gala, but Elsina Duncombe was present. Walking into a standing ovation, Duncombe was thrilled and humbled by the outpouring of love she received.
Service is what we do. That is what we're all about. And so tonight I am truly, truly humbled that they saw fit to recognize me and 2 others of my sorors for this award as we celebrate our 40th year. So I'm truly humbled and truly, truly appreciative of this honor. The local community service that we provide to this community mean a lot more to me. And for me, what really stands out over the years, although we no longer have PACE, that was the home or the school for teen mothers, I felt that, we were most impactful there. Assisting those girls who would have, not gotten an education otherwise. They would have been made to come out of school and so forth. So for a lot of time, those girls came from a low socioeconomic background, and so we were able to pay for their BJC exam, pay for their BGCSEs exam, take them to lunch, and, you know, just provide mentoring for them.
Congratulations, ladies. And that's a look at news this evening. Jay has sports coming your way next. Jay, what's happening?
Well, Aja, coming up on sports, some Grand Bahama preparing for the Goodwill Games. Also, results from the Bahamas National Cycling Championships. Don't go away. Sports is next, right after this break.
Get ready for the Bottle in the Bahamas karaoke contest at Port Lakaya Market Square. Preliminary trials are July 19th at 7 p.m. and the main event is July 26th at 7:30 p.m. For more information, call 438-9056.
Gumbe Land features AVS Catering. Attention clubs, sports group, and birthday party planners. Come and celebrate with us. Our group rates are as low as $17 per child, including skates and food.
Health officials announced early on that the curve of the fourth wave has been flat.
Standby talent. 2 and cue.
We have a dynamic team of diverse, enthusiastic journalists committed to uncovering the truth and delivering it with zeal and integrity.
Confirms that the victim's body was found by an individual who was involved in the search.
We tell the heartwarming tales of resilience and success, from local politics to cultural events. We have it covered. We have Aja coming live from Bimini tonight for our top story. We are your trusted source in the North. We are ZNS Northern Edition.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. We have results from the National Cycling Championships, but let's begin with swimming. Swimmers Raven Ward and Kimani Cooper both qualified for the upcoming Goodwill Games scheduled for August 16th through the 18th in St. Lucia. Raven will be competing in the swim meet for the second time.
I feel very proud of myself for making the team. You know, I was injured earlier this year, so I was just trying to come back, and being able to represent my country is really nice. I made the team last year where we won our first Goodwill game, so being a senior this year, I expect to lead these young children into some of their first international meets and then just help us get into our second win. Most of our meets throughout the year are long course, so going into a short course meet, I'm just trying to work my turns and my underwater, some things that I don't really focus on that much throughout the year, so that's what I've been doing.
Multi-sport athlete Kimani Cooper will compete in the boys 9-10 age group.
I feel great because I made the team, and my expectations is to do well. We are practicing on our speed and our technique so we can go fast and win some gold. I think I'll do amazing in Goodwill.
Next in sports, the Bahamas National Cycling Championships took place in Freeport, Grand Bahama most recently. Here's President Kenton Roker.
It was a wonderful event. Again, we have Lonnie winning his category. Aiden Bain was second. In the adults, it was one from cyclist from New Providence, Jay Major. He won the open category. I was able to get third place in the open category as well. The potential is there, and all we have to do now is continue to invest in our cyclists. In the female category, Sonobia Moreau, we know it's no. Again, she retained her title as a champion, female champion here for the Bahamas. We look forward to her competing in the elite category when they travel to Guyana later this year for the Caribbean Championships. The potential is there. We have, since the championships, we have new persons showing interest, buying bikes. They want to be involved in cycling.
Ladies and gents, that is your quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
It's time now to ask GBPC.
GB Power, can you tell me ways that I could cut down on our power bill?
Is your home unbearably hot at the end of the day or after being closed up for a few hours? You need to invest in insulation. Insulation plays a crucial role in lowering AC bills by minimizing the transfer of heat between the inside and outside of your home. We found that many customers are in homes that do not have insulation, and it costs them substantially more to run their AC and cool their homes. Here's how insulation works. It reduces heat transfer. Insulation acts as a barrier, slowing down the movement of heat through walls, ceilings, and floors. During hot summer months, insulation helps keep the cool air generated by your AC inside, preventing it from escaping to the outdoors. This means your AC doesn't have to work as hard to maintain a comfortable indoor temperature, leading to lower energy consumption and reduced cooling costs. It maintains consistent temperature. Proper insulation helps maintain a consistent temperature throughout your home by preventing hot outdoor air from infiltrating and warming up indoor spaces. This reduces the need for your AC to cycle on and off frequently, resulting in more efficient operation and lower energy bills. It minimizes air leakage. Insulation not only slows down heat transfer, but also helps seal gaps and cracks in the building envelope, reducing air leakage. By preventing conditioned air from escaping and unconditioned air from entering, insulation improves the overall efficiency of your HVAC system. So this year, don't procrastinate. It's time to insulate.
A look at your local weather forecast is up next.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody
does it better.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Watch this new episode of Battle of the Brains, powered by GB Power. Your #1 news team covering the North. Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the night is a great friend of the team here in the North, Sally Smith. A special happy birthday to you. Hope that you enjoyed. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the news team here in the North, I'm Azure Quant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the Commissioner of Police updates SEDNLES on the latest in that investigation of alleged corruption on the force. The BCPOU headed to the polls today. Who will come out victorious? We'll just have to wait and see. Plus, from busboy to VP, we're going to call it the Charles Colbrook story here at Atlantis. And in sports, Blue Chips Athletics members are trying to make it to the Olympics. What do they need? Details are on the way. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Live from the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island, this is the Bahamas Tonight.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Well, you're looking at an aerial view of the iconic Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, where we're coming to you from live all this week. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Stamped urgent. The police commissioner today updating the public on where investigations stand into corruption claims against a senior member of his top team on crime. Our Devontae Hanna is on the story.
A major move by the Top Cop Commissioner Clayton Fernandez to ensure transparency in what has already been called an embarrassing situation for the nation's police force. Commissioner Fernandez vowing that the chips will fall where they may as they're in constant communication with their UK partners.
What we have done, we had to document what we wanted and the assistance that we need. That was already done from my office and is presently in the hands of Foreign Affairs, which will be forwarded to the embassy here. And we will be in a better position and wait for their response. But we are moving very quickly with respect to that, and the paper trail has to continue to follow.
And while the force waits for outside assistance, the commissioner says work into the investigation continues.
So I'm pleased, and the investigators here on the ground from SIB, they are on the ground, they are working, they are seeing persons, and they are documenting. So the investigation is going very well at this time.
As for morale on the police force, since the reported disclosure, Fernandez says it has been impacted, but they've been working to address it.
The vast majority of the officers are good officers. I'm talking about professional officers, and as you know, we continue to weed out the bad apples. Yes, some of the officers are peeled down, and I had the opportunity to speak to a number of officers from different areas, and they prepared to rally together to ensure and protect the reputation of this noble organization.
There are protocols when it comes to investigating matters, and it's from the head down to ensure integrity. The commissioner says he is satisfied with the established protocol, but concedes a review can only strengthen.
There is transparency with respect to investigation. And we look at the evidence carefully, and our legal assistance, and that is the DPP office, who guide us along the way with these major investigations.
Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson remains the only officer on leave in connection with this matter at this time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Well, meantime, a Haitian rapper is reportedly missing here in the Bahamas. Haitian Times reporting that Wen's Jonathan Desir, also known as McCann's T, hasn't been seen since July 4th. Now, the rapper was reportedly vacationing with family in Abaco after performing on that island on May 18th. We reached out to the Commissioner of Police, who had this to say on the matter.
I can't speak directly to that at this time, but it came to my attention just a day or two ago, and I'm looking at it, getting a brief, and to see where we are with respect to that.
Well, from NBC to ABC to CBS, Chicago resident Taylor Casey's mysterious disappearance picked up by practically every U.S. media outlet. But Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says he's not worried about the impact the case may have on American travelers coming here. In fact, he doesn't sense any nervousness from our neighbors to the north.
When we have these situations, our focus really is on the family, trying to quell some of the anxiety, praying for them and hoping for the best possible outcome. We don't get into the details of the investigation as a matter for the police. We try to stay very focused on telling the world who we are, sending a message that the Bahamas is a safe and welcoming, hospitable place to visit. And that's a message that we're at every day reinforcing. The numbers are demonstrating that people are getting that message. So as far as that's concerned, I'm fairly pleased.
In other news tonight, after a 12-year fight, Paradise Island Lighthouse and Beach Club CEO Toby Smith won a motion for leave from the Court of Appeal to take his Crown land matter to London's Privy Council. At issue, Smith's 2012 application to lease 17 acres of Crown land on Paradise Island to restore the abandoned lighthouse there. He received approval for a 5-acre lease in January 2020, but he later learned that the government granted Royal Caribbean's interest in the same property. Well, Smith took the matter to the Supreme and Appellate Courts here in the Bahamas and is now hopeful for a positive result in London.
I continue to remain confident that eventually we're going to get a ruling in our favor, which, as Sir Michael Barnett referenced in his dissenting ruling at the Court of Appeal, that an agreement for a lease is as good as a lease, and that there was an agreement in place. And with the weighting that Sir Michael's ruling carries, I'm certain that Privy Council will be able to see the facts of the matter, the past precedents in law, and order-specific performance like what I've been asking all along.
Well, we can also tell you tonight that former Grand Bahama Urban Renewal Chief Michelle Rackley and 4 others expected to return to court early next year. And this after a magistrate dismissed an application aimed at stopping the trial following reports earlier this year that the case file could not be found. Now, Rackley is accused of defrauding the government of $1.2 million through the Urban Renewal Small Homes Repair Program on Grand Bahama and laundering the money with the assistance of Vincent, Stephanie Colley, Christopher Simonet, and James Hall between December 2016, that is, and February 2017. The defendants were initially arraigned in 2019. Well, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, live from the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. There's more news to come when we return.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
For the past 51 years, the Bahamas has been a nation marching for progress. We are more than sunny skies and blue seas. We are a nation filled with purpose, opportunity, and innovation. With each generation, our spirit grows stronger, our dreams brighter, with our banners waving high. Join us as we continue to pass the torch, fostering freedom, progress, opportunity, and innovation for years to come. Happy Independence, Bahamas, from Commonwealth Bank.
finger-licking good.
What are we gonna do? We forgot your daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right.
Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Weeks of campaigning and attempts at swaying voters ending today for those vying for spots as officers of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union. Corval Pyfram has more on today's election.
As voting got underway for the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, the process was overall smooth with a few minor hiccups, we're told, and candidates on hand making their final pitches to voters. The polls opened at 9 Tuesday at about 15 polling stations nationwide. The BCPOU's more than 700 members, employees from BTC, ZNS, and the Bridge Authority electing their complete bargaining agent team. All but 2 positions were contested. The race for leadership, a two-way one, pitting incumbent Sherry Benjamin against immediate past president and current union trustee Dino Rule. Both confident about winning, both pledging that they will accept the outcome of this election.
Like I say to everyone, I came in with an assignment. I understood that assignment and I carried that out well. I would have signed 5 industrial agreements. Staff have seen their salaries increase tremendously under my watch, and there was a number of changes that were directly impacting staff that was done by my administration. So I'm comfortable and I feel good that I would have done my best.
I've been a fighter. I came up through the organization, practically served every office in the organization, and I believe in getting things done, even if it's by way of force, and using what was taught to me. You know, go and have a good conversation with management and see how best we could resolve those issues. And in the absence of that, then we use other tools in the toolbox to get management's attention, and that's what I've done as the former past president, and those are the things I intend to utilize moving forward.
Kanish Wilshcombe and Lloyd Allen have both decided to seek elected office for the first time. The two are going head-to-head for area vice president at ZNS.
I just would like to get back to where the union used to be. No, the integrity of the people. That's all, and that's it.
The goal of the union is always workers first. And so I believe this is the time to put the worker back in the driver's seat.
Polls closed at 5 this afternoon, with counting getting underway shortly thereafter. The results of this election should be available either tonight or tomorrow. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfram.
Well, thanks, Corval. If you come across a message from the Ministry of Labor and Employment instructing public servants employed between 1990 and 2024 to click on an enclosed link to receive funds owed to them, it's fraudulent. Public Service Minister, the Honourable Pierre Glover-Roll, sounding a warning in a press release today that this message was not sent out by her ministry and is very likely to have been created with mischievous and/or malicious intent.
There's no Ministry of Labor and Employment in the Bahamas. Red flag. Also, any site that is asking you for your personal information, you should be very cautious of. I encourage ministries across the public service. I encourage private organizations to invest in cybersecurity training. I think a lot of our employees are now on the internet. They're clicking on sites and tabs that are accessing sites that may be dangerous, that may be cybersecurity risk, but they simply don't know.
Well, patently incorrect and misleading. That's how Colina financial advisors sum up claims in the Tribune's Monday business section that the Bahamas Grid Company appears to be valuing Bahamas Power and Light's transmission and distribution system at more than double the government's price in its $100 million bond offering memorandum. Now, CFAO making their bond offering announcement yesterday, clarifying in its press release that the government has estimated the value of BPL's current transmission and distribution grid at $100 million. Bahamas Grid Company will invest at least $120 million into transforming and expanding the existing grid by the second quarter of next year. Now, with $58 million spent on transmission, $55 million on substations, $7 million on distribution, and the remaining $130 million investment to be spent on engineering, training, and education, CFAO calculates the investment totals some $220 million. Well, his actions at a party decades ago still impacting a cannabis advocate who believes the proposed legislation is the first step in righting a wrong. And even as he revels in the fact that after years of advocating, progress has been made with the pending introduction of a medical cannabis industry, he's offering a word of caution to the public. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
Chairman of the Bahamas Cannabis Research Institute, Terry Miller, knows all too well the hardships and stigma that comes with the conviction for possession of a small amount of marijuana. From incarceration to limiting job opportunities to having the ability to travel freely stripped away, and it's one of the reasons he is eagerly anticipating the passage of the Cannabis Bill 2024, hoping it will lead to less detrimental outcomes in the future.
Coming from a middle-class family, I was able to, after 4 years, to get my visa, coming from an educated family with connections. There's so many young people who were in the identical situation as I that never got a visa again, was never able to travel to the United States again.
As government gets closer to legalizing cannabis for medicinal and religious use, also decriminalizing amounts under 30 grams, Miller sees the economic benefits of what could be a billion-dollar industry. Advocacy aside, and while Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says an educational campaign will come with the passage of the bill, he believes it should have happened beforehand. Miller is adamant marijuana or cannabis is not a panacea, and it can be dangerous for certain people with a genetic predisposition, even making them psychotic.
Smoking marijuana could cause cancer of the lungs, could cause all sorts of other ills, even though it's not as dangerous as other drugs. But you need to know this. If you have certain preconditions like asthma, how this could affect you. This is the knowledge we need to be spreading. Certain age, the age of first use. The brain, especially the brain of a young man, doesn't fully develop till he's 24.
According to the U.S.-based Centers for Disease Control, smoking cannabis, regardless of how it is smoked, can harm the lungs and cause small blood vessel damage. While the focus is on medicinal use, Miller says at some point officials will have to address recreational use, but he does not support legalization across the board.
It should be encouraged as a business, right? Because if you legalize it across the board, then it dilutes the whole, if everyone could just grow all over the place and it's free to grow, and then access by children and all of that. So there's got to be some regulation. But I think adult use should be legalized.
Debate on the Cannabis Bill 2024 that began in the House of Assembly Monday resumes on Wednesday when officials hope to pass the legislation. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, the union representing educators at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute by no means letting up. The group staging its second protest, airing key concerns. Here's Fern Carey with the story.
Enough is enough. That's the message employees at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute heralded as they staged a peaceful protest outside the gate at BTVI Tuesday morning. The educators also hoisted placards, with some of them sporting chains on their arms and ankles to amplify the seriousness of the matter. The educators who broke their vacation to join the protest are accusing the BTVI board and BTVI president, Dr. Linda Davis, of breaking the terms of their industrial agreement by not paying out all of the benefits agreed to in the contract, which was signed over a year ago. This latest protest also comes after they protested last month over similar concerns. UTEB's acting president, Dr. Anastasia Brown, provides more insight on their complaint.
When we sat to the table, they gave up 2 increments in order to get this matter resolved. That was a month ago. We received a letter last week stating that, they only have 83% of the money. They can now give the 100. You're breaking the agreement. So we sent an email to them, the president, last week Tuesday, asking what happened. Was there a breakdown in communication? Did you send a letter to the FS? What happened? When are you going to write the FS for the money? Because we agreed for 100%, not 83%. Please let us know what happened. No response.
Dr. Brown is not happy with the situation.
The disrespect needs to stop. And basically, guess what? This isn't about the money, It's about the principle. We went into a contract with you where we gave up. You have, there's 2 increments in the Bahamas. Would you give up 2 increments and then just to solve this matter? Because a year later. No, correction. More than a year later that we were fighting for this. Now you can come back again to say, we only can give you 83%. That's a slap in the face.
She believes the money was sent by the financial secretary, but is not being paid out as agreed.
But I know the FS that we're dealing with. He always said in meetings after meetings with them and the FS, if you are short, write us and we will send the money. Did you do what you're supposed to do? I think not. I honestly believe they get the money. But they're trying to, they always do stall tactics. So year after year, trying to keep them in bondage, keep them in change, so that they will not be free. That's what it is today. We're tired. Your daddy didn't leave you this money. The government's the people's money. Give them what they deserve. They ain't begging for something right. This what belongs to them.
Now, we reached out to Dr. Linda Davis Wackerman, but was unsuccessful. However, in his June 4th statement, BTVI's board of directors indicated that Dr. Davis continues to have the full confidence of the board. She has acted in good faith throughout UTEB's industrial agreement negotiations and in accordance with good labor relations. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Well, still on education, 11 high school graduates getting the opportunity of a lifetime visiting the People's Republic of China International on month's end. The group, 10 students from the Family Islands and 1 here in Nassau, are participating in a cultural and immersion experience courtesy of a memorandum of understanding signed between the University of the Bahamas and Confucius Institute. The students are expected to learn all about China's food, its culture, language, and its people.
As if I'll be able to enrich and broaden my perspective on the global market, especially because I could learn a lot from China.
I look forward to experiencing the new culture, different cultures, seeing new things, meeting different people.
What I'm looking forward to most is basically everything.
I want to pursue computer science when I go to university. So going to China to see how their technology is and also see the culture and be with their students. I could bring it back home to the Bahamas and also to university as well.
Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, wished the students well, while UB Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Maria Woodside, or Taki, say they're proud.
This is a chance of a lifetime. Make the most of it. And as you prepare for the next phase of your lives, let this be an enriching experience for what comes next. We are all very proud of you because you have shown that the early efforts of our forefathers who believed in our people when you couldn't go to school beyond the age of 14,
we at the University of the Bahamas is so proud that we're living up to our motto, that we're preparing students for a better life in a global society.
Meantime, scores of youngsters from across the country will engage in a variety of activities this summer as they participate in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal Summer Camp. The free camp officially opened Monday with a ceremony at United Christian Cathedral, allowing campers to get a taste of all the fun ahead.
This is a holistic program, and even though it appeared at the beginning may only be 2 weeks, there's a likelihood that it will be expanded. We want to ensure that we engage our children. We want to ensure that they develop positive minds and ensure that they involve in positive activities. And programs involve a myriad of areas and events, from swimming to basketball, to educational pursuits, as well as to ensure that they get to meet some of the older persons in the community and to deal with sewing and crafts.
Urban Renewal's intent is to provide, particularly as it relates to young people, a safe space, a time and a facilities and events for them to be occupied during the summer season, for them to be empowered. It's our desire that young people are not criminals, that they take on a positive intent, that they become personally empowered to understand who they are and what they can be. And so we want to secure the future of our country.
The Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal partnering with the police force to host the summer camp, and police are assuring parents that the youngsters will be in a safe environment.
I can tell you the police is out, and we're going to protect these kids to the fullest. There's not going to be any sorts of hindering from the outsiders coming in. We will protect them, and we will guide them and take them through as our mandate by the commissioner to work with the young people.
Those persons who live in other communities will come in the inner city to join our camps. And it's very important because it's summertime, and the kids really have actually nothing to do. Parents still have to go to work, and so they have an opportunity to work with civilian staff and police officers in having fun, learning craft, all the type of events that you can think about in summer. But it's going to be a fun camp. They'll be able to be fed, and it's thousands of kids from everywhere.
Well, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight. Marcellus Hall is up next to tell us what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports tonight, Blue Chips Athletics trying to get more athletes on their way to the Olympics. We'll tell you about it just ahead in sports.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
My motto is one girl at a time. If we start with just one thing and we build on that, I think that makes a whole big difference. When we started out, we didn't anticipate having 1,000 children here. Our goal was to reach one child at a time. The whole idea was to find a safe place for them, some place for them to express their talents and their giftings, and also a positive environment for them to be in. I do the work that I do in my community because I see that they can become more than they are. I can see that they will be great in this community. I can see born leaders. And one thing I can say, the change in them has affected their families. If we started something small, it grows, and we have a greater impact on the community as a whole. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Hi, my name is Sanchez Clinton, pain and flooring specialist here at CBS Bahamas. And today I just want to welcome you into our brand new Pink Center where you could get top quality products at exceptional prices, such as Valspar, Minwax, Krylon, and so much more. At CBS Bahamas, you could get your color match, tinting, shaking here for free. You could even get a digital rendering or even a color swatch, and we'll be able to mix it with our advanced color matching system. So come on down to CBS Bahamas where we can help you build beautiful.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
We here at Cannabis Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also get people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
I like records great. I like John Cano. Oh, better collect gold and a right love for my bro. Yeah, I like Johnny K. Yeah, where my fish do. What I don't need all that bird. That don't make a show. Yeah, I like the beach, but I don't go in water. Just grab me a collect. That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
Welcome back. Once again, we're coming to you live from the Atlantis Resort, and that's where you can find us all week. And Marcellus, I'll tell you, what's the point of being at a resort, a top resort at that, soaking in a couple of days and not having some fun on your own? So what I did is I ventured off from the bath. Oh. You know, and I took in a little massage. Okay. A little massage as in, you know, one of those mini ones.
Yes. I understand completely. Listen, for me, here's what I did. You know, one of my favorite pastimes as a kid was to take apart my sister's Barbie dolls. So today, I had some fond memories because I walked by that big Barbie thing that I had down there. I was like, oh, look at that. You know, so it was a great feeling. I took in that, and I did the lazy river. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Well, while we're enjoying paradise, we're giving you a chance to soak up some fun and win lots of prizes.
And guess what? We have a trivia question for you to answer tonight. It is, during which month in 2023 did Atlantis Royal Towers celebrate its 25th anniversary? Now, of course, the first persons with the answer on our Facebook page, you will walk away with 4 Aquaventure passes. So make sure you get those answers in as quickly as possible.
And while you're looking for those answers, there's so much to do and see at Atlantis, as you just heard from Marcellus and myself, for visitors and locals alike. In this next report, our Anthea Ferguson breaks down these summer resident rates and gives us a brief rundown on sights, sounds, and scenes you can enjoy.
Over the years, the mega resort has not only become a playground for tourists, but locals alike have enjoyed finding their slice of paradise here. This summer, there's lots to get into on property, and yes, some resident rates to cash in on. Tashina Robinson is the property's executive director of community development. She says this is the place for your ultimate summer staycation.
So at Atlantis, we're offering double occupancy for $185, and that's the minimum of 2 nights. If you want to just come and experience the thrills and the chills of Aquaventure, we have Aquaventure happening with a special resident rate of $75 per adult and $45 for kids. So you really can come and make a day out of it, or you can come and make a weekend out of your fabulous Atlantis stay this summer.
And for nightlife, there's something entertaining for every taste, from a concert series featuring some of your favorite R&B stars to Junkanoo in Paradise for the theater and culture buff.
It'll take you on a little bit of a journey through what Bahamian music and Bahamian culture feels like. And so that is $30 for adults, $15 for kids. We've had a lot of summer camps come through it, as well as a lot of retirees. So what I can tell you is it's a show for the young and the young at heart.
And about those R&B stars I promised you, they're part of a free concert series at the chic casino side hangout, Bar Soul.
We already had Genuine come in, and that was really hot, and that was really popular. And we also have coming up, we have Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. And we have Maya. So people who want to feel that soul and feel that groove, we have a little something for everyone.
And what's summer without the little ones? Atlantis is also offering a culinary, tennis, and even a mermaid camp for the little creative this season. But perhaps the main attraction for most youngsters this summer?
You can do the Barbie walk, which is really, really popular right now. Photo ops galore. Nice little trip that you could round out a couple of the girls, take them on a little Barbie journey, and then cap it off with some dessert from Sun and Ice that has something for everyone. I'm in love with the strawberry ice cream.
And while I grab myself a cup of that ice cream, another sweet deal for residents is free parking after 5 p.m. at the South Park parking lot.
And you know, Tashina's absolutely right. Capping off a staycation here at Atlantis with Sun and Ice and Barbie is the perfect send-off. For the Bahamas tonight, I'm Anthea Ferguson.
All right, pretty good stuff. Well, in an inspiring story of dedication and hard work, Charles Colbrook, who began his career as a busboy, has climbed the ranks now to become the Vice President of Food and Beverage at the Atlantis Resort.
Well, his journey, a testament to the power of perseverance and the opportunities available in hospitality, and one of hope for the future of our country's #1 industry. For more, here's our Devontae Hannah.
Well, Kushla, it's dinner time here at Atlantis, and we are in the Marina Village where hundreds of guests are flocking to dine at one of the restaurants here this evening. Now, before we get to all of that and the eating, which is pretty much my favorite part, right? We spoke to one of the men that sits at the helm of the food and beverage operation here at Atlantis. And believe it or not, he actually started at Atlantis as a busboy. It's a story that is completely inspiring, that shows you that no matter where you start, it's all about where you finish. Check it out.
So I graduated from Prince Will on June 27, 1975, and I started working on June 28, 1975.
Charles Colbrook's journey in hospitality began nearly 5 decades ago in the bustling kitchen and dining room of Koyaba, now named Chopsticks. And it all began with this conversation with his mother.
So my mom happened to come by one day while we were playing in the street and says, "Oh, you playing ball, eh?" I say, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "Well, you know you finish school tomorrow, eh?" I say, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "Well, I tell you what, you need to go Paradise Island and go look for your uncle and tell him you need a job."
With a keen eye for detail and a passion for service, the then young boy from Wilson Track says he committed himself to excellence and a deep understanding of the industry early on. Now regarded as a father figure on the job, Colbrook manages a staff complement of over 3,000 people within over 50 outlets.
My #1 accomplishment is the amount of Bahamians that I have trained and developed over the years. I have footprint in just about every hotel on this island. Persons who came up under me, and you know what gives me satisfaction is when I am out there in public. Persons who I don't know, but they know of me. When my name come up, they would say, "Well, such and such a person always talk about you every day on lineup."
Showing us photos from the Paradise Islander, a newspaper published back in the 80s, Colbrook says he was part of the property before it was purchased by visionary Sir Saul Kersner, who he joined in recognizing the strength of hard workers in the hospitality industry at that time, which would one day make the property one of the best in the region. And 49 years later, the work continues.
I got a new Shake Shack coming. I got to reopen the bar. I got a miniature golf course coming. So, but in the not too distant future, I hope to ride off in the sunset. You know, spend some time with my family, because my kids and everything, they grew up while I was in the business.
As he continues his career at the multi-million-dollar resort, he says he finds delight in those now joining the industry. To those young staffers, here's his greatest admonition.
At the end of the day, you have got to have a positive mind, and you really have to live your own life, and you have to be your own man. You have to make your own decisions. You know, if I had to do it again, I will do it all over again. I will change.
Because as many would say, the ride will never stop for Mr. Colbrook and Atlantis. But after hearing his entire story, we asked him, was this always the job or the career that he wanted to get into? He said, actually, he wanted to become a police officer. And after 6 months of working at Atlantis, he planned to quit and go and join the police force. Things didn't work out how he wanted it, and he decided that he loved it here, and he says he's going to continue his life. He's definitely grateful to Atlantis for all that it has done for him and his family. He has 3 children that have graduated college, and it's just proof of the spirit here at Atlantis that not only puts Bahamians first, but puts all of the people that share in this wonderful place that is Atlantis first. Now, that's going to do it for us here at Marina Village. Before I go, Marcellus, I got to say, you're looking pretty sharp, if I do say so myself. I don't know if this is a prank or if we just have similar tastes, but I mean, I definitely can say that we look pretty good. We're back to you guys in studio.
Well, thanks, Devontae. You and Marcellus certainly look like twins tonight, but no love lost. Well, here at Atlantis, recruiting the right people to bring on as team members is key to its continued success. And to speak more on the issue tonight, joining us is Atlantis's VP of Talent Management and Acquisition, Brigitte Godet McKinsey. Welcome to the Bahamas tonight.
Thank you so much.
What goes into ensuring that you recruit the top people in such a competitive industry, and who are your top partners?
So to ensure that we attract top talent, we focus mainly on our employer branding, to be the employer of choice. As you know, Atlantis is the largest private employer in the country, and we have a strong employer brand, top employer of choice. Our top industry partners include the Ministry of Tourism, Fresh Start, NTA, BTVI, Department of Labor. Just on Saturday past, we partnered with them to labor on the blocks on Carmichael Primary, where we saw over 600 applicants, prospects.
Well, technology is the way of the world. We can't move anything or go anywhere without technology not playing some role in what we do. What role, then, does technology play in the hiring and recruitment process here at Atlantis?
Technology has absolutely revolutionized our recruitment efforts. From our Atlantis page, which you can find on Facebook, or you can go on the Atlantis page, or you can just simply Google Atlantis Careers. It's a live, interactive career page where we post all of our positions, where we also explain the type of culture that we have, so that applicants know, they make that choice, is this the place that I want to work? We also have automated processes where we pre-screen applicants. We have streamlined selection processes and behavioral-based assessments as well.
Now, you speak of place to work in terms of the candidate. What does Atlantis do to ensure there's a promotion of diversity and inclusion?
Diversity and inclusion is part of our culture. It's woven in our culture. Our learning and development team actually creates a number of modules for our internal team members as well as our external team members, and as well as the technology has revolutionized our recruitment process and our selection process, where we have behavioral-based assessments so that we ensure that our selection process is always objective and not selective.
Now, given the nature of the industry, 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. We know what COVID did for it. We know the peak seasons for the tourism industry. How do you prepare for a softening of seasonal hiring or seasonal hiring?
Planning, and planning. You have to be extremely strategic. You have to know what your historical trends are and align them with what the business needs are.
Well, that again was Atlantis's VP of Talent Management and Acquisition, Brigitte Godet McKinsey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're coming to you live from the Atlantis Paradise Resort. Stay with us.
ZNS is taking over Atlantis. For an entire week, we'll be broadcasting live from Atlantis Paradise Island.
You'll get an exclusive look at what this resort has to offer.
Tune in from July 15th to the 19th for an insider's look and dive into exclusive interviews.
Enjoy special features and experience this resort like never before.
End your day with news from paradise with the Bahamas Tonight on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
The country's bird guiding training and conservation getting a boost with a memorandum of understanding signed between the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute and the National Audubon Society. The MOU allows for collaborative partnership to strengthen and promote bird-based tourism and educational initiatives in areas of conservation. The partnership would advance research by further developing the field skills of bird nature guides to conduct surveys and engage in the monitoring of birds and their habitats. Well, now time for a check on Family Island weather, and as always, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Another beautiful evening here at Atlantis with more sun than cloud in the background as we continue our live weather broadcast from the 12th floor balcony of the Coral Towers Hotel. Now, our satellite picture this evening, it is showing a very quiet tropics with just a couple of tropical waves moving from the west towards the east, and they are not expected to develop over the next 5 to 7 days. Now, our boating forecast tonight, it is brought to you by Alive Business, where you're always protected from the worst storms. In the northwestern parts of our country tonight, those winds, they're going to be out of the east at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights at 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Low tide taking place at 11:13 tonight. Now, for the central parts of our country, those winds are going to be easterly at 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop in place. So boaters are asked to exercise caution. And then tomorrow, in the northwestern parts of our country, we're going to have southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots once again, with those wave heights holding at 2 to 4 feet. Your low tide, that takes place at 10:58 in the morning with a high tide at 5:34 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas on Wednesday, that persistent southeast flow at 12 to 18 knots, maintaining those caution flags for your boaters. And as we take you into Thursday, in the northwestern parts of our country, the winds remain at 10 to 15 knots out of the southeast. Tide-wise, it's going to be high at 5:45 in the morning with a low tide at 11:49 in the afternoon. And for the central Bahamas, southeast winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. In the southeast Bahamas on Thursday, the winds even stronger still out of the southeast at 15 to 20 knots, and the wave heights are choppy 4 to 7 feet over the ocean with caution flags in place. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Bahamas, Bahamas, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Want to have your voice heard? Send your letters to the editor to digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. Share your thoughts on current events or positive stories within your community. That's digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. We want to hear from you.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of the human history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more in news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop. Keep going.
2 minutes to airtime.
I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The news at an S, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Well, welcome to his Advocacy Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. We're here at the Ocean Club Golf Course, which is one of the best in the world and has hosted a lot of major events, including the Duke of Edinburgh Cup, which just wrapped up shortly. And we have the White Sands. And, of course, everybody knows about the Pure Silk event, which is a PGA Tour ladies event that takes place here annually as well. Now, that being said, this Ocean Club Golf Course is also, like we mentioned, one of the best in the world. And people come from all around to take part and play a couple of holes here on this very same course. We have a lot going on as far as local sports is concerned as we get ready for international soccer events. Let's take a look at what's in store. Our junior national soccer team continuing preparations now as they gear up for international competition just around the corner, catching up with the squad at the end of one of their practice sessions and getting the latest update on their progress as Amajal Knowles, who files this report.
Bahamas girls U15 national soccer team hard at work as they prepare for a number of international friendlies later this week against the Optimal Training Foundation out of Florida. The Total Sports team recently popped on over at the Roscoe Davies soccer field to see how they're shaping up.
Practices have built up because we have all type of different players, so we have to feel out all the different players to see who play better where their strengths is, where their weaknesses is. So we had to do a lot of shifting around. A few of the players actually had went away, but we're still working with the players that we have, and they've been showing dedication, they've been showing commitment. So I think we're pretty confident in our team.
Coach adding she's certainly optimistic about the team's performance and gives us a look at how the roster was assembled.
Super excited to see what the girls have developed throughout the weeks. I think we should show some good stuff this week. We have players from everywhere, so we picked a few of the best players from out of the U15 clubs, and we incorporated it into our development program.
One of those players will be Summer Wong, who is equally as excited.
I think we've been going well, and we've been doing a lot of passing and working as a team. I think we're doing well. I think we have a high chance of doing extremely well in playing.
Now, the matchups will take place at the Roscoe Davies soccer fields beginning on Friday. For Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
And Rayma Otabar will be competing for the Bahamas at the upcoming Olympics in the throwing event. Rayma, a part of the Blue Chips organization, who yesterday hosted a throwing camp, hoping to ground the next young crop of throwers who are looking forward to being able to compete at that very same level. Swanson Gibson has the story.
It only lasts 1 week, but kids and instructors have hit the ground running at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Cultures and Blue Chip Athletics Javelin Camp. Coach Corrington Maycock analyzed the elementary phases the campers will undergo while there. He also spoke about entrusting Carifta athletes Tasha Stubbs and DRA Scott to instruct the campers.
You basically start with the attempt of throwing, making sure they have the correct fundamentals and skills. And then we go into what we call the dry run, which is the final part of the technique, the runway and all that stuff. So they're going to learn from the basics straight into novice. It's quite too early to put them in advance. So it's just looking forward to just seeing how fast they progress. You have two young ladies, Tasia Stubbs and DRA Scott, who are ranked in the world. So, if they're ranked, then they have to be doing something right. So they learn the basics from early, and they can just teach it no matter what. So they're doing an excellent job so far.
Stubbs and Scott on reciprocating the mentorship given to them.
It feels great, because Coach Maycock and Coach Quell and other coaches, they've helped us a lot when it comes to javelin and continue to help us. So we just want to at least do a little bit of the same thing for other people.
Just what she said. Coach helped us a lot with all of the knowledge that he knows, and to be able to pass it on to the younger people to, do what they want to do. That's really great.
The brief camp wraps up this Friday. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
And yesterday, right here at Atlantis, basketball champions for this season's Atlantis Basketball League, receiving their awards and banners for job well done. Champions of this year's league getting it all done as they got their trophies, their medals, and a little cake to go along with things. So far, so good. They're saying they're looking forward to competing for the championship once again next year.
And that's your check on sports on this Tuesday. Our Tuesday weather just ahead. Stay with us.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one place.
With one click.
You mean I can get all this in the palm of my hand?
Yes.
On all my favorite devices? Yes. And with unlimited access to all types of different content.
You won't need to look anywhere else.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital. That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital. ZNS Digital, the people's station in your pocket.
In our final look at what a beautiful sunset in the backdrop here at Atlantis, and in the tropics, we still have that Sahara dust, which is keeping a lid on tropical cyclone development. The satellite picture is supporting that theory that Sahara dust does affect it, as we see those tropical waves on the satellite picture struggling to develop, and we don't anticipate any development over the next several days or so. Now, our forecast for tonight in the northwestern parts of our country, we're looking for a bit cloudy conditions. It's going to be somewhat breezy and warm, with your low temperature around 81 degrees. And tomorrow's forecast, again, shaping up pretty much okay, with lots of sunshine in the forecast. Some hazy conditions as a result of that Sahara dust. But as we head into the weekend, you will notice that there will be an increase in those clouds over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And some showers and thunderstorms will be in the mix, but our weather should hold out quite nicely into Friday. Temperature is going to be the main factor. They're going to remain in the 90s right into Saturday. So once again, the heat index, they're going to be playing around 103, 104 degrees. So we ask you to keep yourself hydrated.
Well, as always, Basil is on point with the weather, but let's get into this.
You like this one-of-a-kind shirt? Wait a minute. Apparently they made at least two of them.
But I mean, I still think we look fly, we look fresh, you know, representing the Bahamas and Bahar.
You sure do, Biggie and Smalley. But we're having a fabulous time here at the Atlantis Resort. I think, Devontae, you've swam with the dolphins.
Yes, a deep dive swim with dolphins. I'm talking rubbing bellies, rubbing fins, being pushed by fins and noses.
Remember, that's PG-13, don't
It was an absolute crazy experience that I'm so excited for our audience to see.
All right. Hey, we had a trivia question earlier today. I think the question was, in what year, or what month in 2023 did they have the Royal Towers celebrate their anniversary? And the answer to that question was the month of December. Our winner, a young lady by the name of Tamara. Now, they didn't give me a last name, so all the Tamaras out there,
just log on and just come to knocking.
With you.
Exactly. But that does it for all of us here at the Bahamas tonight, who we're certainly enjoying our time at Atlantis, as you can see it from all of us here. Thank you for watching, and no one, absolutely no one, covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thanks for watching. And before we leave, we'd like to say happy birthday greetings goes out to Laura Williams, who's turning 81, who actually turned 81.
Is that the fruit lady?
The fruit lady.
Happy birthday, Miss Laura.
Happy birthday, and enjoy.
Coming by for some mangoes.
Good evening, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
We look to our government to provide protection and solace. But what do you do? Where do you go when the government has injured you?